Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Savvy Sales Lady Live. I'm glad that you could join me this evening and learn just a little bit more. We've got a new look in the studio. I hope you like that intro and the countdown, and we're going to change things up a little bit. But tonight we're talking about how to be a great closer. Now, there's a big difference between being a salesperson selling and being a closer. And we're going to go through all of that tonight. Let me get out my notes and we will get started. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about is I want to set you up for success right now. Treat you as the professional that you are. And by the end of this live stream, you'll have new skills to be a great closer. So the goal for tonight is to teach you the difference between being a seller versus a closer and leading with value, and then the mindset that turns conversations into conversions. So I hope you've grabbed your drink, your notepad, and you've settled in because you're about ready to learn how to stop selling and start closing the Savvy Sales Lady way. So let me tell you a little secret to get started. Most salespeople try to close with persuasion. Great closers, they don't use persuasion. They close by creating clarity and trust ahead of time. So let's get into part one. So the question is, what's the difference between a salesperson and a closer? Well, let's get to it. A salesperson pushes, the closer leads. The salesperson talks a lot. They listen to respond instead of listening to understand. The closer listens to understand for the real problem. So many times when you're in a selling situation, you think you may not, or you think you know the pain points and the issues and problems. But the more deeper you get into questions and having an authentic conversation, you uncover there's even more issues and problems. Maybe not just one. And sometimes the buyer is even surprised that, oh, yeah, that's right. I do X, Y, or Z. I've had it happen so many times in selling situations. The salesperson makes noise. The closer creates clarity. You don't get paid to sell. Think about that. You don't get paid to sell. You get paid to close deals. So stop being a seller and become a closer. Now, when I used to hear the word closer all the time, I thought back to the closer from Suits. Remember the USA Network series called Suits about this law firm in New York City? And the closer of the firm was Harry Specter. Remember that? I love that series. But more importantly, I love to see the way Harry closed deals. Harvey, it wasn't Harry, it was Harvey Specter. But you don't have to blackmail to close deals. What you do have to be is confident in your offer. And Harvey Specter was confident in the offers that he made to the clients or to the people that were suing their clients. He was very confident in the offer that he was giving them. You have to become, in a sense, a Harvey Specter and be confident in the offer that you're presenting. So many times in sales, I have seen salespeople actually buy what the prospect is selling them, which is, well, I need to think about it, or this isn't the right time, or a number of other objections that they've been giving. I have seen and heard salespeople buy into those objections. The prospect was selling the salesperson. That's not you. That's not you. You're the closer. You're the closer. And when you let those things happen to you, you just haven't created enough trust with the prospect, or you haven't understood what the real problems and issues are because you weren't listening to understand. You were listening to respond. All right. So you don't get paid to sell, you get paid to close. And that doesn't happen when you convince. It happens when you connect. A great closer isn't trying to win a deal. They're trying to guide the buyer to a decision that feels right. And when that happens, your buyer says, "Thank you. You've helped me take a step I was afraid to take." Or, "Thank you. You've helped me clarify my situation and what it is that I need." All right, let's get into part 2. and that is lead with value in advance. Do it in advance. And I should say, if you've got any comments or questions, put them into the comment section and I will get to them at the end of the video. I'll be happy to answer any questions or comments you have. Just let me know you're here. I see there's people that have joined, but let me know you're here and tell me where you're from. I'd love to know where you're from. Okay. Let's get back to lead with value in advance. So here's the core strategy in leading with value in advance. I lead with value with every video by giving you, the viewer, a free resource. And today's free resource is called the Free Closers Cheat Sheet. Cheat sheet. I knew I was going to do that when I was practicing what I was going to say before I came on air. I did the very same thing. So it's the Free Closers Cheat Sheet. How about that? And I'll have that description, or I'll have that link in the description area below after the video is finished. So before you ever ask for the sale, give them something that moves them forward. That's the whole idea in every step of your sales process, is to move them forward. Now, depending on what industry you're in, whether you have a relatively short sales process, or maybe you have a long sales process, you want to keep moving them forward. You don't want them to freeze up in the sales process. So how can you do this, moving them forward and leading with value? Well, like I do, I always give a free handout on every one of my videos. For you, you can share an insight with the prospect. You can offer some type of small giveaway or small win, or you can teach them something useful. Or if you happen to think of them and something that you ran across that you thought could help them, why not do a short video using your phone and shooting a short 30-second to a minute video and texting it to them? Tell them that, you ran across this, you thought of them, you thought they might appreciate it. Do that. I've done that lots of times in the past. So let me relate it to this. Just like the chocolate shop that gives you a free sample, if that first bite is amazing, you want the whole box. Just like going to Sam's Club or Costco. They have people standing around in little booths giving out free samples. You take it, you taste it, you're going, this is really good stuff. You buy the box. It's the same concept. They're giving away value and free food so that you can taste it before you buy it. Giving value ahead of time, leading with value before they buy. Same concept. All right. So if you help your prospects solve a small part of their problem for free, they're thinking, wow, if this is what I get up front, what would it be like working with her or him full time? What would it be like to buy their product or service? And if I get this up front, that's when you're already closing before the official close even happens. All right, we're going to take just a quick break and then we'll be back and I'm going to go through the black belt theory with you. All right. Stay tuned, and we will be right back on the Savvy Sales Lady Live. If you like the Savvy Sales Lady Live, you're really going to like the Savvy Sales Lady newsletter. It's delivered in your inbox once a week. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe? The link is in the show notes below so you won't miss this upcoming newsletter. I give you one tip to focus on each week to implement immediately into your sales day. Why not sign up and learn just a little bit more? The newsletter is called Focus Drop. It comes out on Saturday or Sunday over the weekend. I do not bombard you with a bunch of emails. I don't do that. You get the newsletter once a week, and you might hear from me if I'm doing some kind of promotional, but I've maybe done 2 in the last year. So the newsletter just gives you a little bit more insight into the sales world and gives you tips and techniques that you can use immediately. It's in the description area below. All right, now we're back talking about how to be a great closer. So the black belt analogy. All right. Think about this like martial arts. No one becomes a black belt in one move. It takes a lot of work and practice to get to that level. And honestly, if it was easy to obtain, it wouldn't mean anything. But everyone knows that if you are a black belt, even if you don't do martial arts, if you're at a black belt, you are an elite. And that's what you are. You're a professional elite in the world of sales. So when you are achieving to black belt status, you have to learn the stance, right? Then you have to practice the form. Then you have to build flexibility. And then you have to gain power and speed. You don't need to take them to black belt status in one phone call or in one meeting. Don't rush the process. Be patient. Closers are patient. You just need to teach them their first stance. Keep in mind, they do not know your sales process. You have to teach them what that sales process is by always giving them the next step. I can't stress how important that is. So the first win makes you the trusted coach. Just last week, one of my personal coaching clients, he shared with me that I gave him some cold calling scripts to work on and some email templates that I wrote for him for his specific industry and told him to try that. He told me he got 2 back-to-back wins. 2. So think about that. What I'm telling you works. I'm not hoping it works. I know it works. So when they trust you to teach them the first few steps, they'll follow you all the way to the big transformation. Value in advance builds trust before money even exchanges hands. Let me say that again. Value in advance builds trust before money even exchanges hands. So closing isn't something you do to someone. It's something you do for someone. Just keep this in mind. Write this down. Write this down. And I hope you're taking notes, and I hope you get the cheat sheet because it will give you some valuable insights. Great closers guide, great closers give, great closers help their buyer feel confident saying yes. And that's really what you're striving for, that they feel confident in buying you. They're not buying your product or service, they're buying you. When someone comes to me for individual coaching or a sales manager comes to me to train their sales team, I take that very personally. My goal is always to make that person or that team the most successful I can make them. That's my whole vision. My whole insight is for them. That's why they feel confident saying yes to me. So your job this week is to ask yourself, what can I give away in advance that makes the yes feel easy? Think about that. Brainstorm that. Sit down after this broadcast and write that question out. What can I give away in advance that makes the yes feel easy? Brainstorm all the different things that you could do. Come up with 10 or 15. Better yet, put it in Chat GPT. Ask Chat GPT, and I'm hoping that you are using Chat GPT, but let them know what your values are as a salesperson. What do you value the most as a salesperson? And then ask that question to Chat GPT. What can I give away in advance that makes the yes feel easy for my prospect? Describe the prospect to Chat GPT. Let Chat GPT know what kind of product or service you sell, and then sit back and let Chat GPT brainstorm for you. Now, I'm not telling you that it may hit it off the bat. If you're not used to using AI, it won't get it right the first time. It has to learn who you are. But keep feeding it information and it will keep giving you feedback. And if it's wrong, tell Chat GPT, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Let me explain it again. And I really want you to ask yourself that question, brainstorm it or feed it into Chat GPT, get a sense of more ideas. Okay. And then I want you to download the free closers cheat sheet that will be listed below in the video description on my YouTube channel. It's filled with mindset shifts and conversation prompts to help you close with confidence. So, what I'd like to invite you to do is to like, subscribe, and share my video with others that you think that could use this help as well. So stay with me for a little bit longer, and remember, stay savvy, and I'll see you Tuesday.